You are standing in a dimly lit room, getting ready for bed, when the hair on the back of your neck suddenly stands up. You feel the distinct presence of someone else standing in the shadows, watching you. As your eyes adjust to the low light, the intruder disappears. What looked like a person lurking in the corner turns out to be a winter coat draped over a chair, or the heavy fold of a window curtain. This surge of adrenaline is a routine part of our cognitive architecture. It is a shared human experience that occurs every single day. Still, it raises an interesting question about human perception. There is a specific reason why your mind actively goes out of its way to fabricate threats, and specifically human faces, out of thin air. The ghosts we see in the dark are projections generated by our own visual hardware. And to understand how sensitive that hardware is, we can look at a time when it caused an optical illusion on a planetary scale. In the summer of 1976, NASA's Viking 1 spacecraft was orbiting Mars, mapping the planet to find a safe landing site for its sister ship. When the probe beamed back photos of the Cydonia region, Mission Control spotted an anomaly. Staring straight up from the alien rock was a massive, perfectly proportioned human face. The image quickly reached the public and triggered an intense cultural reaction. For decades, many viewed this photograph as visual proof that an intelligent alien civilization was keeping an eye on Earth. 20 years later, the Mars Global Surveyor passed over the same coordinates with a much sharper camera. The new images revealed a completely ordinary, weathered mesa. The face was entirely the result of coincidentally placed shadows captured at a low resolution. The physical mountain had not changed, only the clarity of the image did. When our perception is powerful enough to project a face onto the side of a Martian mesa, it suggests the presence of a high-priority system running deep inside the mind. Scientists call this phenomenon in our visual processing pareidolia. It happens because human vision does not work like a video camera passively recording a scene. Instead, your brain acts as an aggressive puzzle solver, constantly scanning raw visual data and hunting for recognizable patterns. This is a hardwired biological trait. Studies show that newborn infants will intuitively lock on to face-like shapes within hours of birth, long before they can recognize specific individuals or understand what a face actually is. Because this pattern-matching software is running in the background constantly, it triggers in broad daylight. We easily recognize distinct expressive faces in the geometric grills and headlights of everyday automobiles. The brain applies this exact same facial recognition filter to vast, chaotic natural systems, forcing us to see profiles and human expressions in atmospheric cloud formations. Out of all the shapes in the world, human biology places the face at the absolute top of its data processing hierarchy. We are programmed with a heavy bias towards seeing people. To understand why the brain operates this way, we have to look back deeply into human evolution. Our early ancestors survived in highly unpredictable wildernesses, where split-second recognition of threats was a daily requirement. Natural selection framed this as a problem of risk assessment. The brain constantly had to weigh the biological cost of making a false positive visual error against a false negative. A false positive happens if an early human hears a rustling bush, assumes it is a predator, and flees. They survive. But a false negative is catastrophic. Mistaking a predator for a bush removes them from the gene pool entirely. Because the penalty for missing a threat was absolute, natural selection ruthlessly favored brains that sacrificed perfect accuracy. The individuals who lived long enough to reproduce were the ones equipped with hyper-fast, paranoid pattern-matching visual systems. We are the direct descendants of those paranoid survivors. Our modern brains inherited their over-tuned hair-trigger alarm system, and we lack the physical ability to turn it off. That ancient survival reflex is exactly what kicks in when you walk down a dark hallway in a modern home. Darkness creates a condition called data starvation. Without sufficient light, your visual cortex is suddenly deprived of the high-resolution information it needs to confidently identify objects in the room. Starved of reliable input, the visual system panics. It aggressively begins filling in the blanks, stitching together isolated fragments of shadows and shapes to guess what might be hiding there. When forced to guess, the brain defaults to its oldest, safest programming. It artificially constructs a threat, projecting a face or a creeping figure into the static to ensure you stay on high alert. The sudden, unsettling fear of the dark is an internal mechanism. Your own brain is actively attempting to protect you from an invisible danger by making you see one. Pareidolia is a protective biological shield. It is a legacy of survival that continues to function in the modern world. Whether you notice an angry expression on the front of a car, spot a giant in a mountain range, or catch a watcher in the shadows of your living room, your internal safety system is operating at peak efficiency. The empty darkness of a home is simply a blank canvas for these ancient survival instincts. The next time you feel a sudden chill from an unseen face in the dark, you can actually feel safe. It is the echo of your ancestors, working tirelessly to keep you alive.